15 common questions about DNA testing. What is a DNA test? A DNA test analyzes the genetic material found in the cells of a person or other organism to gather information about identity, ancestry, health, and biological relationships. DNA, or deoxyribonucleic acid, contains the instructions needed for the development, functioning, growth, and reproduction of all living organisms. DNA testing can provide insights into your genetic makeup, including inherited traits, potential health risks, and ancestral origins. DNA tests are used in various fields, including forensic science for criminal investigations, in medical genetics for diagnosing inherited conditions, and in anthropology for studying human evolution. How does DNA testing work? DNA testing involves collecting a sample, often saliva, cheek swab, or blood, extracting DNA from the sample, amplifying it using a process called polymerase chain reaction, or PCR, and analyzing specific genetic markers to draw conclusions about identity, ancestry, or health. The steps include sample collection. The sample is collected often through a non-invasive method like a cheek swab. DNA extraction. DNA is isolated from the sample cells. Amplification. PCR amplifies the DNA to create enough material for testing. Analysis. Genetic markers are analyzed using various technologies such as SNP genotyping or sequencing. What types of DNA tests are available? There are several types of DNA tests, each serving different purposes. Ancestry tests identify ethnic background and ancestral origins. Paternity or maternity tests confirm biological parentage. Health risk assessments identify genetic predispositions to diseases and conditions. Genetic trait tests determine traits like eye color, lactose intolerance, or muscle composition. Examples include autosomal DNA tests, which analyze autosomes or non-sex chromosomes for ancestry and ethnicity. Y-DNA tests trace paternal lineage by examining the Y chromosome passed from father to son. And mtDNA tests trace maternal lineage by examining mitochondrial DNA passed from mother to offspring. How accurate are DNA tests? Well, DNA tests are highly accurate, particularly for establishing biological relationships and ancestry. But, the accuracy can vary depending on the type of test and the laboratory conducting it. Factors that can affect accuracy include the quality of the sample, because contaminated or degraded samples can affect results. Also, the genetic markers used play a role. The number and type of markers analyzed influence the precision. And for ancestry, the size of the reference database can impact the detail and accuracy of ethnicity estimates. Can DNA tests determine my ethnicity? Yes, DNA tests can estimate your ethnic background by comparing your genetic markers to those of various populations around the world. These estimates provide percentages of your DNA that align with specific ethnic groups. The process involves comparing your DNA with reference populations. Your DNA is compared to DNA samples from various ethnic groups to estimate proportions. However, there are caveats. The estimates are not definitive and reflect broad genetic connections rather than precise cultural or national identities. How can DNA testing help with health insights? DNA testing can reveal genetic predispositions to certain health conditions, allowing for proactive health management and personalized treatment plans. Types of health information include carrier status, which identifies if you carry genes for inherited disorders, and risk assessments, which provide insights into your risk for diseases like heart disease, diabetes, and certain cancers. There's also pharmacogenomics, which offers information on how you might respond to certain medications. But it's important to remember that DNA testing provides risk probabilities, not diagnoses. It's essential to consult healthcare professionals for a comprehensive assessment. So, what privacy concerns are there with DNA testing? Privacy concerns revolve around the security of your genetic information and how it might be used or shared. Potential risks include data security, which is the risk of genetic data breaches, and third-party access, like whether and how your data might be shared with third parties such as researchers or law enforcement. There are also concerns about genetic discrimination in insurance and employment. To protect yourself, you should review the privacy policies of testing companies, opt out of data sharing, and choose reputable providers. Can DNA testing determine biological relationships? Yes. DNA testing can confirm or deny biological relationships, such as parentage, sibling relationships, and other familial connections with high accuracy. Common tests include paternity tests, which establish whether a man is the biological father, maternity tests, which establish whether a woman is the biological mother, and sibling tests, which determine whether individuals share one or both parents. How long does it take to get DNA test results? The time to receive DNA test results varies, but typically ranges from a few days to several weeks, depending on the type of test and the laboratory's processing time. Factors influencing the time include the type of test, as complex tests like whole genome sequencing take longer, and lab efficiency, as processing speed and lab workload can affect turnaround time. What can a DNA test tell me? Well, DNA tests have some limitations and cannot provide certain information. For instance, they can't give you a complete health forecast. They can't predict every potential health issue you might face. Additionally, they don't provide specifics about recent ancestry. Instead, they offer broad ethnic backgrounds, and they don't determine your personality or behavior traits. How do I interpret my DNA test results? Most DNA testing companies provide detailed reports that explain your results. For health-related tests, it's really advisable to consult a healthcare professional for interpretation. The reports usually include graphs and charts, which are visual representations of your ancestry or risk percentages. There are also text descriptions explaining what the findings mean. And, genetic counselors can offer personalized advice and help you understand the implications of your results. Are there risks associated with DNA testing? While the physical risks are minimal, there are emotional, ethical, and social considerations to think about. Emotional impact can include discovering unexpected family relationships or health risks. Ethical concerns often revolve around issues related to genetic privacy and consent. And socially, there could be potential effects on family dynamics or even your personal identity. Can I use DNA tests for legal purposes? Well, yes, DNA tests can be used in legal contexts, but they must follow strict chain of custody procedures to ensure results are legally admissible. Paternity or maternity disputes. Establishing biological parentage for custody or inheritance. Immigration cases. Verifying family relationships for immigration applications. Forensic investigations. Identifying individuals in criminal cases. How does DNA testing impact family dynamics? Discovering new information about biological relationships or health risks can affect family relationships and personal identity. Possible impacts include emotional reactions, feelings of surprise, confusion, or distress from unexpected results, family relationships, changes in perceived relationships and dynamics, identity questions, altered perceptions of personal heritage or family history. Can I trust the results from consumer DNA testing kits? Consumer DNA tests are generally reliable for ancestry and certain traits, but should be interpreted with caution, especially regarding health insights. Considerations include the scope of testing. Consumer tests may not be as comprehensive as clinical tests. Verification. Health-related findings should be confirmed through medical testing. Provider reputation. Choose tests from reputable companies with transparent methodologies. DNA testing offers valuable insights into your ancestry, health, and biological relationships. While it has many benefits, it's important to understand the implications, limitations, and privacy concerns associated with it. For more detailed explorations into DNA testing and related topics, consider watching informative videos that break down complex genetic concepts in an easy-to-understand manner. Interested in learning more about DNA testing and genetics? Subscribe to our YouTube channel for engaging videos on DNA testing, genetics, and more. Please click here to like, subscribe, and stay updated with the latest health information. Drop your comments, opinions, and suggestions in the comments box below. Thanks for watching.